What's up, you guys? Welcome back to We Gotta Speak on It. I'm your boy Quay. For those who don't know, this is my show. And today we're gonna be talking about something I came across. This guy named Marcus Anthony. He got his own podcast now, and he's a guy from off Pop the Balloon. When I first saw the clip came across, my view, I recognized him. I said, this guy looked familiar. And it turns out that he's the guy from Pop the Balloon who has some interesting comments on Pop the Balloon. So when I saw he had his own show, I said, I got to see what it's about, especially after I saw the clip that I saw. You know what I mean? So we're going to get into it. I want to break down some controversial stuff that he said, some stuff that people was giving a lot of energy to, and people had a lot of, opinions about it, to say the least. So without further ado, let's get to it.
That's what I do it for. You know I got motion. Even though I be joking, get to the bag. Got me waking that folks up. It's deep as the ocean. Been through the fire.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, this is Marcus.
Oh, hey, Marcus.
Hey, how you?
I'm well. How about you?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm well. But my question, I guess, is from a feminist standpoint, because I am a feminist. So, like, watching the show and like seeing your reaction to women, I just want to know, like, what's your viewpoint, like, on relationships? Like, what do you feel is appropriate, like, for a woman as far as like dress, talk, have an opinion, gender roles?
I feel like women should be in a feminine role. I feel like they're not allowed to be in a feminine role nowadays because they forced to work and they forced to do different things like that men have to do. I think some of it is on the men. I think some of it is on the women. I also believe that it's all in you. So it's all about what you put out into this world. So if you want a good man, I feel like you will go searching for a good man. But a lot of these women don't go searching for a good man. They go searching for just like what they want and perceive to be a good man, which would be a dope boy or a scammer or somebody else that just got a lot of money. They don't care how you got it as long as you got it. So a man don't got to have no morals or none of that. As long as he got some money, they going for it. So me nowadays, I feel like women put out a certain image of themselves and then they mad whenever they get that image brought back to them. If you dressed in fishnets or you dress half naked, then it's no like reason why you should feel like a man is going to treat you other than a whore.
Whoa, let me stop you there. Hold on. So you feel like whatever a woman wears, that determines how she should be treated or how she should be perceived in the world, right?
Yes, I do. And if I'm wrong, tell me this. If I don't want to be perceived as a gay man, why would I wear women's clothing and walk around like switching my ass and doing all this other shit if I'm not gay?
Yeah, but being perceived as a gay man and then being perceived as a woman who is...
No, that's not what I said to you. I said if I'm a straight man, why would I walk around if I want to be perceived?
Sense.
So if you're a good woman, why would you walk around perceiving yourself as a whore?
You know, the obvious answer to that is simply because I want to.
Oh, because
like it's the 21st century and women should be able to wear and put on what they want to without being perceived as anything. That's almost very, very simple-minded.
Let me say this real quick, guys, because a few things already they talked about that need to be addressed. She first got on the phone. The first thing she said was she's a feminist. I thought that was interesting right off the rip, because any woman that identifies as a feminist, the first thing you got to do is try to understand what exactly does that mean to you. Because if you're just saying that you want women to be treated equal, then I'm a feminist too, as a man. But if you feel like you don't want women to be in the role of a woman, and you want women to be more so like, away from the traditional standards of what a woman is, if that's your idea of feminism, or to put women on the forefront or put women in power as far as running things and not in their natural order or whatever the case may be, I think that's problematic. So first and foremost, she starts this I'm a feminist situation. Then she act like it's hard for her to understand that people are going to treat you with how you dress. People are going to treat you according to how you present yourself. That it don't take Einstein to figure this out. He made an analogy about a gay man. I didn't like it too much, but it's kind of a good. It can work. The analogy can work because what he's saying is that why would I want to walk around and make people think that I'm something that I'm not? You know, why would I do something intentionally to give off an image or idea of something that I'm not? That's for a woman is a good woman, a classy woman, a woman that has intelligence, has smarts, that has the ability to understand the messaging that she's sending out. She wouldn't want to send the wrong messages, especially from a sexual type of point of view. She wouldn't want to attract that type of attention from guys that only see her for her, see her sexually. Why would she want to do that? Everybody wants attention. But when a woman craves that type of attention, it's something that any real man is going to have they're going to look at. It's something that your antennas are going to raise up a little bit, because it's like, why do you crave this type of attention so much so to where you're going to leave out the house bucket ass naked? But at the end of the day, you can't stop people from thinking a way about you because you presented yourself a certain way. Let's continue.
You can, and you'll be single. You can do whatever you want to do and be single. Nobody is telling you. Nobody is telling you. Hold on. Nobody is telling you that.
And I don't feel like my husband is like as simple.
Look. Everybody says that they're married, and everybody says that they have a man, this, that, and the third. Whenever it comes to somebody speaking, but we all know y'all don't have no man y'all been with for no 13 years, 10 years. Y'all just say that to just get the heat on.
Yeah, she got a man.
Oh, she got a man?
14 years.
Oh, she got a man. So look, is you gonna let her wear? Look, is you gonna let her wear whatever she want to wear, half naked anywhere with you not around?
I'm gonna let my wife be who she is in her entirety of herself. If she want to be fully clothed tomorrow, she can be fully clothed.
That ain't what I asked.
If she want to be outside and she want to show her ass the next day, that is totally up to her. And me as a man should be comfortable enough to where whatever my wife wears, I should be comfortable enough to handle that. If you're not comfortable enough to handle your woman wearing something revealing, then that just tells me that there's something lacking in you as a man. You don't have that confidence.
Let me tell you something about guys like this, okay? Guys that disguise themselves as being in control or just being comfortable, that the women can go out half naked and she could do what she want to do. These type of guys are, what we call beta males, but also the issue is that they ignore the reason why real men don't like their women and wear that kind of stuff. It's not because they're insecure so much or jealous. It's because it's a safety component to it all. If I'm allowing my woman to go outside with her ass out, bucket naked. If my woman go outside butt naked, first and foremost, it's dangerous. First and foremost, it's dangerous. This is not even about having concerns about her cheating or anything like that. It's the fact that it's dangerous. There are crazy people out there. My woman is a woman. Women are women. They're not strong as men. And we live in a society where even though women are protected, you can't be around and protect them, because if they out by themselves or they out in public and some crazy dude decides that he want to get a rape charge, all you can do is respond after the fact. So what we're doing is we think as protectors. Men are naturally protectors. We want to protect our family, protect our kids, protect our women. And the fact of the matter is, when you have a woman that's hell bent on doing what she want to do and exposing herself to the fullest, it makes it really hard for a man to protect his woman. And any real man is going to be uncomfortable because he knows that at this very moment, I'm not in control and my woman is at risk. That's the issue. It's not because guys are insecure so much or that they're jealous, this, that, and the third. It's not about that. It's about it's a protective component that people often overlook. And when you got a guy like this, which is one of the worst type of dudes, because what they do is, the first thing they do is they try to disarm a real man that's expressing why the dangers of allowing your woman to do that. He try to act as if it's an insecurity thing to make himself look good, when in reality, he has no real control in his situation. He just going for the ride. You know what I mean? That woman is probably running the household, making all the decisions and everything else. And he just like a little punk sitting on the side, just going for the ride. He probably let her pump the gas and everything. I wouldn't be surprised if he sit on the passenger side while she drive. When they walking in the street, I wouldn't be surprised if she's the one walking towards the street and he's on the inside. She protecting him. Because when you move a certain way as a man, that's what makes me think that. There's no way in the world no real man is going to be okay with his woman literally going out half naked, unless you don't love her or you have no interest in protecting her, or you just simply want to make money off of her. You know what I mean? But that's just my view. We're going to continue on. We're going to get into some more of it later.
Something like it. It's something. Look. One thing about queens. Look, listen to me. I don't know if you a king or if you a peasant, but I'm gonna let you know this. B, come here. I'm gonna let you know this. Kings ain't never wore what peasants wore, and neither queens. Queens don't conduct themselves like peasants, and they ain't never conducted themselves as such. But I'm not gonna say, look, hold on, don't cut me off. I ain't cut you off. So look, don't cut me off. So, like I was saying, women have. What I'm just saying, listen to me. A queen ain't never. Listen to me. No, listen to me. Don't cut me off. You ain't gotta cut me off.
Now that man sat there. He let that man talk the whole time. Now the moment, oh boy, Marcus Anthony starts to go in and explain to him his position or his idea, he laughing, he chuckling, he's over talking, he's coming in. He can't take it. It's burning his soul to let this man break down what respect is and what order, the natural, how a real person with pride and dignity is supposed to move. So he's sitting there, he can't take it. It's sizzling his spirit. You know what I mean?
That's why you're getting upset, because
I'm not getting upset.
You're not
Man,
married.
look, I'm not getting upset. You just used to talking to your woman and letting her look, bro. Look.
Themselves.
Next caller. So look, this is another problem that we got. We got men. It's always been a subsect of good men, and it's always been a small sect. It's always been a large sect of bad men, and it's always been a small sect of good men, just like it is with women. It's always been a large sect of hoes and a small subsect of good women. So yeah, you're gonna have some men out here that's betas, like we had on the phone, that's gonna try to coddle you and make sure, look, I can keep my woman and just let her do whatever she wants to do. That's the only way that I'm gonna keep her. But then you got other men that's gonna stick to what they saying, and look, you either gonna abide by these rules or you gonna get the fuck on. He more than likely couldn't get no pussy nowhere else if he tried to. So that's why he's holding on to it the way he is. I'm not finna argue with no beta male. I got too much other shit going on. So that's why I hung the phone up. Okay, we got another caller that's calling back. I guess they didn't like the end result, so we gonna try to give them some more feedback.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing? This is Marcus.
Marcus, you hung up on me, man.
Yeah, man. I ain't too big on repeating myself when it comes to people. So like I had said I had let you speak. So it was my turn to speak, but you just kept cutting me off. So I'm like, I ain't finna.
Let me say this real quick, guys, because I do agree with what he's saying right now. I'm not big on hanging up on people either. I feel like when we having a disagreement or we talking about something, and no matter what the situation is, let's handle it like men. If we gonna talk, let's talk. If we got to yell, whatever. We got to cuss each other out, whatever. But don't hang up the phone. But it's truly aggravating when you're talking to somebody and you let them speak, you let them get all this shit out. And when it's your turn to speak, they want to cut you off. That's not cool at all. And it truly makes, the conversation can't go nowhere. So it's nothing else to do but to hang up. Why, why try to continue if one person is not respecting the order of the conversation? So this is an issue that, when that's taking place, you can't get nowhere. So I can understand why he hung up. Again, I'm not an advocate of it. I think, he probably should have tried to take control without hanging up, but I do understand why he hung up. Let's continue.
Let you speak without cutting you off. Like being respectful, just being respectful. I ain't cut you off. I let you get everything out. So my thing is, let me get out what I got to say, and then you can go ahead and say what you got to say.
And you know what? Normally that's not a problem, but one, you disrespected the female that you was talking to.
The thing is, hold on. Again, we going back.
See, I was just talking and you cut me off. So it's okay when you do it?
No, you're right. Look, finish what you were saying.
I can't come to the phone call with full blown respect when you don't have respect to the female that you're talking to, and the way that you handle females is just wrong in general. Because if you feel like a woman is defined by the shit that she wear, your whole mindset ain't even prepared to have a conversation with somebody like me that know what the fuck they talking about, or my wife that know what the fuck they talking about. Like, you determine women on what they wearing. Like, I mean, how would you feel if I seen you on the show? How would you feel if I determine you based on what you wearing? If I say you look like a broke ass nigga that look like he shop at City Trends, then that would be me defining you the same way that you're defining women, right?
No, because you see the way I just took it. You see how I'm cool and collected. You see how like it don't get me in my feelings because I know I'm not a nigga that dressed from City Trends. My thing is you get sensitive because you know what I be saying is the truth. So like I was saying before, like I was saying before, because I ain't got that much time to talk to you. But like I was saying before, a queen don't act like a peasant. She doesn't put herself where peasants are. She don't dress the way peasants dress. She doesn't conduct herself in a peasant way. She conducts herself like a queen, just like a king. If I'm a king, I don't dress like a peasant or perceive myself to be one. So yeah, when I see a woman, we men, when we see women out half naked, you know what we think? That's a hoe.
Absolutely.
Whether she a hoe or not, you perceive yourself to be one. So if I got a wife, that's your wife. You treat her however you want to treat her. But my wife, she ain't never finna be prancing out here around in half naked clothes and none of that while I'm her man unless I'm around. And when
now he just said something I don't agree with. I do agree with everything that he's putting, he's saying to this man on the phone. The guy tried to take a shot at him, say he dressed a certain way, whatever case may be. I'm not one to judge. Every man's swag is his own little swag, But one of the things I will say is that you say things like, while she with me, you know what I mean, she can wear this, but when she not with me, I don't agree with that, because I feel like this. At the end of the day, I don't want you wearing it with me or without me. If you with me and you half naked, yeah, I could protect you, but what is that going to do when guys get out of line? Where that's going to leave me at? What kind of cross am I about to get thrown in? Why would I intentionally leave the house with a woman that's damn near naked and I go in public and I got all these dudes gawking and borderline being disrespectful, if not blatantly being disrespectful? Why would I subject myself to something like that, walking around with you looking like that, when I know that you're not dressed respectfully? Because I don't want to be thrown in the cross, because I know if somebody jump out of line, I'm a snap, and what's going to happen? I'm going to end up going to jail because I'm protecting you. You made a decision to wear something that you knew was going to put me in harm's way, was going to put me in a compromised position. So it's still, that's why you got to know the type of woman that you with from the beginning. My wife, love my wife to death. My wife would never even want to wear something like that. She don't even want that type of attention. She wouldn't buy that stuff if she wasn't married. She's not that kind of woman. And I respect any woman that has enough character and morals for themselves to not put themselves in a situation where they're advertising sex. That's just something that, you just don't do. It's something that women, shouldn't aspire to be. They shouldn't want that attention. And guys shouldn't want to be with a woman that would even consider wearing something like that or doing something like that. That's me personally.
I'm around, I know ain't nobody finna approach it, because if they do, it's gonna be an issue.
See?
So like you was just saying, you allow your woman to go out there and you allow her to dress in whatever. So like whatever come with it, you take it. As you as a man, you run your household. So if your woman got issues coming towards her, guess what? That's your problem. You should have had her wearing something else. Maybe she wouldn't have had them issues. So if a nigga come up or a man approach her in some type of way, guess whose fault that is? Yours. You should have told her to wear something else, or not to go in the beginning. Instead, you letting her tell you what you want her to do. You run your household.
A woman, any woman, got dominion over her own damn body. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, until she get married, then I got dominion over.
No. When you get married, you're one. So if my wife wants to go out and wear whatever she wants to wear, I'm going to allow that because I trust my wife.
Look,
I trust my wife not to embarrass me. I trust my wife to have respect for me.
This is the problem.
And everybody is watching.
Everybody.
Let me just say this real quick, guys, because a few things were said. First and foremost, the caller, I'm kind of more on his side when he says one thing that he says that, you know, you don't have dominion over your wife, which is true. Just because you marry a woman, yeah, you married to her, and if, according to the Bible, if you follow in the Bible, if you follow in the natural order of, you know, God, husband, you know, then wife or whatnot, then yeah, you're gonna know that the man is at the top and the woman is secondary, then the kids, if you follow in the Bible. But if you're looking at it from a position of ownership, like as if I own this woman, you got the wrong idea. You don't own nobody, man. Marriage, at the end of the day, this 2025, and let's just keep it real. It's a piece of paper. It's pretty much just a piece of paper. You don't own that woman, bro. Just because y'all are married, you can't necessarily force her. Not necessarily. You can't force her to do nothing. You know, all you can do is explain to her what your expectations are. Let her know what you okay with, what you're not okay with, and what you're going to do if, you know, these boundaries are crossed and she does something that you are not okay with. You can choose to leave. That's all you can do. Other than that, you know, you can't talk as if like you're allowing or you're led or you're making somebody do something. You don't have that kind of control, bro. Being married to that woman don't give you that kind of control. So, you know, what the caller was saying about, you know, you don't have dominion over her and things like that, it's true. So it says a lot about the character of a man when he has no regard or no expectation for how his woman or the lack of clothes that his woman wears in public, with or without him.
So however she feeling nowadays is the way that she gets to dress. Just like you don't want no woman telling you how to fuck to dress. You want a woman coming to you every morning telling you, "Nah,
because
nigga,
I'm not going out disrespecting my woman with the way I dress. I'm not going out with my shirt off to the club. I'm not going out to the club
and
with
ain't
a
no
beater
woman
on.
going out with her shirt off.
How? What? They basically is, nigga. What are you talking about? Titties out, ass out, everything. What are you talking about? Talking about they ain't outside naked. They basically the fuck is. I can see your woman for free.
First of all, ain't nobody outside naked, because if they
I just said they have naked,
they wouldn't be able to take their ass in there.
Okay, so they got 25% clothing on. They got 25%.
They just ain't got the type of shit on that
you look, bro. Look. You the type, bro. Look,
you got a control problem. The problem is you want to control the conversation. You want to control the woman. And at the end of the day, you ain't controlling shit because you ain't got nobody. And you on the fucking show trying to find love. So you need to find some other way to make this happen.
Bro, look, you over here in a marriage, nigga, coddling your woman when really you want more than one bitch, nigga. You letting her run around, nigga, do whatever, nigga. She run you.
He says to the guy, Marcus Anthony, you have a control problem. You want to control the show. You want to control your woman. You want to control everything. Having control of your situation is not a bad thing. Now, again, forcing control or thinking that you control your woman directly, that's the issue. But as a man, you should always want to control your environment to some degree. You know what I mean? Everything that you do should be intentional. Everything you do should be thought out. You know, you should already have a plan, what's next and stuff like that. Every man, real man, should have some sort of a plan. And every woman, most good women are going to respect the man that has a plan. But if a man comes on the scene and has no plan, has no direction, has no morals, has no standards, and just allows anything to take place, he's not going to be respected by nobody. He won't. He's just going along to get along with everybody. And nobody will never respect him for anything because he's never put his foot down on nothing. And that's just the truth of the matter, man. That, you know, he said a guy want to control the situation. Yeah, he do want to control it to some degree, which he should. There's nothing wrong with controlling the situation, okay? But that's not necessarily saying that he needs to be controlling his wife directly. That's just saying that I have a certain boundary when it comes to how you dress that I think is out of line. And I would put that same boundary on myself and expect that, you know, I would need to be respectful of her and not do nothing too out of character myself to make her look stupid, you know. That's what it boils down to.
You ain't even running your own household, nigga.
You don't know
look,
me,
bro,
or my fucking woman.
Look. Until you can run your own household, nigga, and tell your girl, nigga, what to do, nigga, without her telling you what to do, it ain't nothing for us to even talk about. You one of the ones that's the problem.
It ain't nothing for us to talk about because you ain't at the caliber of nigga that I am.
Man, trust me, I'm a free nigga. Trust me, I'm free. Look, I'm free from a bitch. I'm free from a job. I'm free from a boss.
You free because don't nobody want your mother.
So yeah, man, I think the show was pretty interesting. You know, the dude, he answered a few calls. He talked about, you know, his expectations from women, how he carries himself and as a man and things like that. I thought it was good content. And I don't agree with some of the things that he said, but I do agree with a whole lot of things that he said. He's not far off. You know, it seemed like the brother, you know, has some experience, a young dude. He apparently doesn't have a wife. He's not married yet, still looking. I don't know how old he is. But again, if you guys want to watch the rest of this show, you can go to, his name is Marcus Anthony. His podcast is called, I believe it's called Unplugged Issues. You know, I'm going to leave a link to the rest of the content, to the page in my description. Go to my description, click on it. Check out his podcast. It's kind of new. He just starting it up. But again, he's getting a lot of traction so far. I thought the conversation was good. I thought it was helpful. And as I try to do all the time, I try to just talk about things in a way where we can just have an honest, open conversation and it not be so much offensive. Because sometimes people can say things a certain way and they could be saying some real shit. But if you're sold and you're caught up on the person, the messenger, you're caught up on, you know, how it was said, you might miss the actual context behind it. So it's my job to try to break this stuff down in a way to where you can kind of like, you know, understand it in a way, and we can have an honest conversation about how to move forward in the most healthy way possible. But that's all I got for y'all today, guys. Please subscribe to the channel. If you have not, hit the like button. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about what I just said. Anything you disagree with, anything that you agree with. Holla at your boy. My name is Quay. Until next time, we out.